Okay, now we're going to talk about Mars in Sagittarius. We talked about the constellation of Sagittarius and what that means, and we talked about Mars and what that means, and when it's direct and when it's retrograde. And now we're going to talk about Mars in Sagittarius, okay? And what to expect on the retrograde. Understand that Mars is still retrograde. I removed the videos of Mercury retrograde because Mercury went direct on the 23rd. June 30th is when Mars goes direct. So we still got a whole month and a week before Mars goes direct. And even though people don't know much about the Saturn retrograde, Saturn retrograde as well, but Mars retrograde, I think it's important that I mention a couple of things. So we're gonna get started. Okay, first of all, when Mars is retrograde in Sagittarius, you're gonna be more argumentative. You're gonna fight more. You're gonna argue more. And you're going to clash and butt heads. And you might have a problem with one of your brothers or sisters, with one of your siblings. Because the opposite of Sagittarius is Gemini, which is the third house in the horoscope. And that relates to cousins, neighbors, second cousins, and siblings, aunts and uncles, and in-laws, and great aunts and uncles, the extended family. So there may be issues and problems with them. And it could be something as simple as mowing the lawn, where you're being told by an older brother, symbolized by Mars and Sag, and you're not doing it. Or it could be something as major as an accident that caused a death to someone close to you, like a family member. Okay? So argumentativeness and sort of a kind of abrasion is to be expected with Mars retrograde in Sagittarius. Another phenomenon of the Mars in Sagittarius retrograde is that you might want to impose your opinions onto others without having warranted it, and that could be an issue. Another possibility is having strong opinions, even if they are warranted. The opinions are strong, they're usually one-sided, and they tend to be hurtful because they can lead to very powerful judgments on your behalf. Okay? Another manifestation of the Mars retrograde in Sagittarius is that there may be an internal excitement. You're already going to be excited with Mars and Sag, but instead of it being externally excitement, it will be an internal excitement. Because remember, Mars is an energy planet, it's an action planet, and when it's retrograde, that energy is going inward. So then the excitement that's supposed to be occurring externally for you to be able to accomplish specific tasks goes inward. So then that means that when Mars goes retrograde, this could be a time for you to be creative and to be mentally creative. Harness all of these mental energies into creating something that's intellectual, something that is of a mental task instead of the hands and feet, because Mars is a very hands-on planet. It's almost like the handyman, the mechanic. It's physical labor. But when it's retrograde, the labor is no longer physical, and now becomes mental, psychological, and it becomes internal. Okay? So that's one thing. When you have Mars retrograde, you can also, because of the internal excitement that it takes, the backlash that happens externally is that you could be clumsy, or you could be a klutz. There might be accidents, and like something like tripping, falling, or burning yourself, because Mars deals with burn, with fire. It's Aries, it's fire, it's a fire element. Or, Mars deals with blunt objects and sharp instruments, knives and scalpels, like surgery. surgery. When Mars is retrograde, it's very wise for you not to have anything to do with dentistry or oral surgery or anything that deals with surgery, period, anesthesia or anything like that, because that can, plastic surgery, reconstructive surgery, that kind of stuff, even cosmetic surgery, something that's not necessary but it's just to help advance physical appearance. These things can go wrong if you go to a doctor and Mars is retrograde, and you can put yourself out there, so you got to be careful about that. Okay. Conflict with the environment, and what I mean about conflict with the environment, you could have a conflict with foreign neighbors. Sagittarius rules foreigners, so you might have a neighbor who's a foreigner and you might not be getting along with him for this particular period for whatever reason. Maybe the garbage ended up on your side and it should be on his lot, or maybe he parked in your parking garage or on your parking lane instead of his own, or he might have been centimeters into your parking zone when he should have stood on his own. Little things like that can creep up, and it can happen from a foreigner or a neighbor, so be careful with neighbors and foreigners. Or if you have foreigners that are your neighbors, make sure that you are at peace with them and that there isn't any particular problem that may cause both of you to be set off. Conflict with the environment can also mean being in trouble with the law. Mars rules police officers, so and remember, it rules guns and firearms. So if Mars is retrograde and you have it inside the Sagittarius and it's in the third house, something that we're going to go into in a little bit, then you might run into problems with the law. So make sure you don't got any paraphernalia on you or any drugs, because if you're stopped and God forbid, they run your number and name, as it happened to me, and they find that you got a warrant, guess what? That's a Mars in Sagittarius manifestation. Whiplashing, the opposite sign, which is the sign of Gemini, the environment. Thank you, boss. Thank you. Yeah, my car's full. I get excited and emotional when I talk about these things. So, the reason why I'm in the train doing this interview is because I want to show the mobility of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign, and it's a mutable fire sign. So there's always constant movement and constant changing of environment. And if you are not the type that likes change, then this can be a very difficult transit for you at this time. Okay? So those are one of the things to look after. Now, the other consideration with Mars and Sagittarius when it's retrograde is injury. You could injure yourself. Sagittarius deals with physical activity, sports. So if you go to a gym or if you exercise and you do your Pilates, make sure that you stretch and you exercise, and stretch before you exercise and stretch after you exercise. Take nice hot showers or hot baths to help loosen the muscles. Once you do physical and rigorous activity, you can tend to injure yourself with Mars and Sagittarius. Okay, especially if you are in the gym or in the spa, because the planet and the sign rules these activities. Okay, very good, very good. The other thing that has to be considered is that you may have problems in your travels. With Mars and Sagittarius retrograde, you might have a problem with booking, with making reservations. The flight might be canceled, delayed, or they put you on coach when you should have been on first class, or maybe the things just did not get done like you thought they would, and now you have to do them yourself. Okay, Mars retrograde tends to dissipate time and energy, so you have to kind of plan and prepare when things go awry. Don't trust people that you don't know. If you're outside of the country and you're traveling, make sure that you carry your purse very tight so you don't get pickpocketed or get bludgeoned in the head because they want to take your money. Be careful. Pay your taxes when you leave the country if you are abroad, your departure taxes, and also pay them before you leave. Make sure that everything is in absolute order. Yep.